Have you ever planned a trip that lived up to the daydream? That's what June can feel like, if you pick the right national park. Because June sits in a really unique window. Snow is melting, waterfalls are flowing, and wildlife is active. But in many places, you're just ahead of peak summer crowds. Hi, I'm Teresa from An Acre in the City. I've traveled to all 50 states and over 80% of the National Park Service sites. And I learned when you go matters just as much as where you go. So today I'm taking you through 5 national parks that are absolutely incredible in the month of June, including one that feels like you're stepping into another country, and one that completely surprised me and ended up being one of my favorite park experiences. Let's get started. In some place that looks like a painting. Bryce Canyon in June is one of those places that doesn't feel real. You're standing at the rim, looking out over thousands of orange hoodoos, and it almost feels like a city carved out of stone. But here's what makes June special. It's a desert, but because of the elevation, it's not unbearably hot yet. Mornings are cool, and evenings are comfortable. And the light? Unreal. One of my favorite memories here was doing the Hoodoo Challenge. It's a series of hikes that we managed to complete in a day. And when you finish, if you head to the visitor center, they'll give you a sticker, which probably was way more exciting than it probably should have been. But what made it special wasn't just that sticker. It was how much of the park we got to experience in just a single day. Walking down into the hoodoos, seeing how the light changes, and just feeling completely surrounded by the landscape. If you only do one thing, hike the Navajo Loop or the Queen Gardens Trail. They're both great. It drops you down into the formations, so you're walking through the landscape instead of looking down upon it. And at night, Bryce becomes a completely different park. It has one of the darkest skies in the country, so if you stay after sunset, it's absolutely worth it. Now, from desert stillness to some place that most people don't even realize is a national park site. This one surprises people. The National Park of American Samoa isn't just a park. It's a completely different experience. Tropical forests, volcanic cliffs, ocean views that feel untouched. June is part of the dry season, which means better weather and clearer conditions. But what really stands out here is how quiet it is. This isn't a park where you're waiting for parking or dealing with crowds. It feels slower, more local, more immersive. You can hike through rainforest trails where all you hear is the sounds of birds and waves in the distance, or stand on a cliffside and feel like you've discovered something that most people probably never will. This is less about checking things off and more just about being somewhere completely different. If you're watching and thinking, okay, how do I actually plan a trip like this without missing the good stuff? That's exactly why I created my National Park Tips Guide. It's a simple, practical guide with the tips I wish I had known when I first started visiting national park sites. Things like how to avoid the crowds, plan your days, and actually how to enjoy the experience instead of rushing through it. You can grab that below because the goal isn't just to visit more parks, it's to experience them. Now, if that last part felt remote, just wait until you stand by something that's been alive for over 2,000 years. Sequoia is all about scale. You walk into the forest, and everything just seems quieter, slower, because you're surrounded by the largest trees on Earth. Standing next to General Sherman, it's hard to explain until you see it. It's not just tall, it's massive, in a way that makes you just stop and look at it for a minute. June is a great time to go because most of the park is open, but you might see some snow lingering at higher elevations, which just makes the park a little bit more magical. One of my favorite things to do here was just walk. It doesn't even have to be a big hike. Just being in that forest is the experience. And if you want a view, Morro Rock gives you incredible views without a full day hike. And just when you think things can't feel more powerful, let's go somewhere where the ground literally moves beneath your feet. Yellowstone in June feels a lot. Waterfalls are roaring from snowmelt. Wildlife is everywhere. And the geothermal areas, always moving. It's one of those parks where every stop feels completely different. One minute, you're watching geysers erupt. Next, bison are crossing the road in front of you. Next, you're standing at the edge of a canyon with waterfalls cutting through it. And the scale of it all, it just keeps surprising you. June is also one of the best times for wildlife viewing at the park. Early mornings, especially. You have a really good chance of seeing bison, elk, or maybe even a bear if you're in the right area. But here's the key to Yellowstone. Start early, because once the crowds hit, it feels like a totally different park. So if Yellowstone feels like the energy, this next park feels like balance. Olympic National Park feels like 3 completely different trips in one. You have mountains, rainforests, and coastlines. June is one of the best times to visit. The rainfall is less, and more areas are accessible. You could start your morning at Hurricane Ridge with mountain views. Walk through the Hoya Rainforest, where everything is green and covered with moss, and end your day watching waves crash at Retalio Beach. And that contrast is what makes this park feel so memorable. It never feels repetitive. Every part of this park feels completely different. And it's one of those places you visit where you leave feeling like you experienced way more than you expected. So those 5 national parks are incredible to visit in the month of June. Each one offers something completely different. Whether you're looking for desert views, tropical landscapes, massive forests, or a little bit of everything. If you want help planning a trip, grab my National Parks tip guide below. It'll help you avoid the common mistakes and actually enjoy your time at the park. Next, watch free or cheap things to do on your next national park trip, because once you decide where to go, you want to know how to experience it without overspending.